Probably my best margarita that I've ever tried.
Very, very good. I like that.
Hey guys, new show, similar idea. We're gonna research a cocktail all week, test the best recipes, check the old cocktail books and the history books, and then on Fridays, we're gonna bring the most perfectly balanced version of that cocktail to the table. We're gonna make it for the crew. It'll be scored out of 10, I'll share the recipe with you, and we're gonna put it on the leaderboard. Let's see how my margarita scores.
Welcome back, guys. Today, Jay's gonna be making us a delicious margarita. Or he thinks it's gonna be delicious. To be fair, margarita is a great cocktail. Love it. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Do you want to go sit down now and let me do my shit? Thanks, mate. So there's many stories on how the margarita was invented. You've got Carlos Herrera in 1938. Apparently he made it because he had a recipient behind the bar, someone on the other side of the bar that was allergic to every spirit except for tequila. Another guy claimed to have invented it, Don Carlos, in 1941. He made it and then gave it to a female. Her name was Margarita and he just named it after her. Lots of different stories. One thing that is kind of consistent throughout all the stories is that it was invented in Baja California. So just down in kind of Rosarita, Ensenada, right down just past Tijuana. A lot of things were invented in there. The Caesar salad, for one. A lot of people don't know that. The Caesar salad was invented in Tijuana, not in Italy. It's a phenomenal spot. I lived there for quite a while in San Diego. I used to go down to Tijuana all the time, having drinks, drinking margaritas. So I really do understand a good margarita. So I'm gonna make one for you. Now, what they used when they made it, they used tequila and they used a Mexican orange liqueur called Cointreau. Not Cointreau, being obviously French. I'm going to use the original Triple Sec, which is basically an orange liqueur, which is French. It's called L'original Combier. And I'm going to use a nice, good Mexican tequila. I'm going to show you a couple different variations. This one isn't the cheapest I'll show you this one to the camera real quick. Azul. And this one here is the Triple Sec. It's an orange liqueur, basically. They're the two main ingredients with lime. That's basically, it's just the ratios then you gotta get perfect. Now, there's obviously other takes on it. You can take out this for a Tommy's margarita and substitute it with agave syrup. But this is the original, so this is what we're gonna go with. And we're gonna make it for you now. The only variation, I guess, is do you use Blanco tequila, which is a clear tequila, or do you use like a Reposado, which is what this is. Reposado just means that it's been aged in barrel, much like a whiskey. When a whiskey comes off the still, it looks much like this, it's clear. Then it gets its color based on time in barrel. Reposado is in less than añejo. Añejo is even more so, but I think Reposado is the best to make a margarita with. But you can make it with Blanco, and that's the original. But today we're gonna just do a little bit nicer. If you can afford to stretch for an Azul, go for it. If not, just get any Reposado. But this is probably one of the best sipping tequilas in the world. It really is. The first thing people think of if you've never tried tequila outside of a quality tequila, you've just tried all the Jose Cuervo, give me a few. There's a load of them. They're all the bottom shelf tequilas that are they're just hard to drink. I mean, they are really, really putrid. A glass of this is like sipping on the smoothest vanilla-based whiskey that you've ever drank. It's phenomenal. So let's get started real quick. If you can, stretch the budget to grab one, and they're not that expensive. They're only like 10 or 15 quid on Amazon, but getting one of these, they're great for, you can use them in so many different things. But definitely for pressing fruit like lime and lemons, what happens is that you're getting not only just the juice, but you're getting the nice part of the zest. It bruises down into the zest, but it doesn't give you too much of the pith and too much of the bitterness. Like for example, if you were to muddle, if you're making a mojito, this is the absolute best way to do it, because you're getting all the goodness of the lime and all the freshness of the lime, but what you're not getting is you're not getting any of the bitterness that would come if you muddled it down. So I've just juiced one lime. It's just at like 3/4 of an ounce, right? Just slightly, a smidgen below 3/4 of an ounce. So we'll chuck that in. Now, when we're going for a Triple Sec, you wanna go at least, in my opinion, an ounce to a little bit more than an ounce, right? So, and the reason for that is you don't want it to be too sweet. You're gonna be putting in 50 mils essentially of tequila. And that's her. That's basically the long and short of it, those three ingredients. And then what we're gonna do, I like to, not everybody does this, but this is something that I like to do, is I like to put in a pinch of salt. Obviously there's salt going on the rim as well, but a pinch of salt, just a bit of little flaky salt, goes a long way when you're mixing it up, and it really does help bring all those flavors together. So we'll throw some ice in, and we'll go from there. So ice in the glass. Just until you get a nice frost here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to quickly do a garnish, and we're also going to rim this glass. So we'll just take this off here to help rim the glass, and then we'll do a nice lime wheel. So when you're rimming your glass, I like to go halfway, completely up to you. If you want to do salt all the way around, go for it. I've got a bit of Maldon salt that you can use, scrunched up a little bit. It's just it's lighter in flavor. It's not too heavy. Like if you're using a table salt, it's just too much. Kosher is good. You can break that down if you want with a pinch of sugar. And then if you want to get crazy, if I was doing an upgraded version, I'd probably put a bit of chili powder or something in as well, which we're not right now. Rim our glass. Perfection. All right, and then simple pour. You can double strain if you want on this just to stop the ice shards going in, but honestly it's not really needed. And that is, in my opinion, a perfectly balanced margarita.
I'm looking forward to this. It looks very nice, so I'm just going to crack right in. A little bit of salt on the rim for me. Salty soul, as you know. Very, very good. I like that. Almost very balanced. Tiny 2% too sweet for me, but like I said before, not a sweet guy, more of a salty man. But I'm going to give that a solid 8.1.
I love how sweet it is. Probably my best margarita that I've ever tried, and a solid 8.4.
I'm not gonna score 8.4. It's 8.5.
8.3, not a bad score. Solly said it was slightly sweet for him, and the reason why is obviously we used Reposado. Reposado has been sitting in a barrel. It's not like a Blanco tequila. I don't know if he's ever had a margarita with Reposado, but it brings those vanillas from the barrel. You know, some of the sweetness comes from that. It's actually not the sweetness coming from the Triple Sec, it's coming from the tequila itself. So yeah, you can absolutely tone down your ratios, but if you make it with Blanco, I would follow that same one. I don't think it's too sweet. Obviously he did, and he scored it in the 8s. We want to get cocktails in the 9s. I felt my margarita could have got there. I think we can play with the ratios a bit. Maybe one of the boys will step in and do a margarita later in the show as we go and see where theirs goes, because you know, margarita is one of the most quintessential perfect cocktails to drink specifically at summer. So on the board here, it's number 1. But that's because we've only done 1. I'm sure it'll be beaten pretty quickly. Mo and Solly are going to be doing the same thing as me, right? So we're going to be giving them cocktails. They're going to be going and doing their research, deep dive, and coming up with the perfect balance, and then presenting it to 3 people to taste. Those 3 people taste it, score it, and it goes on the board, and we'll see where it all sits. So that's the kind of the concept of the show. That being said, if there's anything that you guys want us to go and do the research on and to try and make a perfect version of, whether it be old fashions, whiskey smashes, some basil gimlets, I mean, there's so many cocktails that are out there. So just pop it in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of the ratios that we used on that. If you agree, if you disagree, that's cool too. Just pop it down there. And look, here's the thing. Most of you that are watching this, believe it or not, are probably not subscribed to us. About 89 to 91% of people that watch YouTube channels like ours is you're not subscribers, right? So if you want to see more of these videos, and if you don't, then obviously don't subscribe, but if you do, it's smart to click the subscribe button, because what will happen is when you go to your homepage, YouTube will make sure those videos, every new episode that we have comes onto your homepage. So anytime you log into YouTube, you open up the homepage, boom, our new videos should be there and you get to watch them. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Comment below.